Welcome to the student walkthrough video for GCSE History, Paper 3, Question 3c. We will look at how the question is constructed, how to answer it, and tips on what makes a good answer. We have other videos available for this paper as a whole and also for each question in detail. The 4 parts of Question 3 are a package, and they will address the same specified inquiry. Over half of the available marks for this paper are for Question 3. Which focuses on sources and interpretations. It's important that you recognise the relationship between question 3b and 3c, which we're looking at in this video. Having identified in 3b that the 2 interpretations offer different views, you're now, in 3c, being asked to suggest a reason why the authors have offered different interpretations about the focus of the inquiry. Focus here is on the process of writing history. Historians can reach different, equally valid conclusions about the past as a result of the process of writing history. In this question, you're being asked to show an understanding of how that can happen. How do 2 different authors, historians, or people reach different conclusions about the past? You will use the same 2 interpretations you've used in question 3b. The explanation you give should be supported with detail from both the interpretations and not based on the provenance. And you should aim to spend around 5 minutes or 6 minutes if you have extra time on this question. Let's look at an example from the Germany paper. Suggest one reason why interpretations 1 and 2 give different views about the Nazi methods of controlling the German people in the years 1933 to 39. The examiner suggests you may use sources B and C to help explain your answer. So you only need one reason, and the topic of the inquiry is the same as you have already looked at in question 3a and 3b. A common approach to this question is to explain that historians may have based their research on different sources, using the sources then from question 3a, sources B and C, to support your explanation. Other valid explanations could be that the historians are focusing on different aspects, for example, political and economic issues, or looking at different groups in society. Likewise, the interpretations could be written from different perspectives, for example, assessing the success of a policy, or taking a short-term, long-term view. Ultimately, though, the best answers have a clear understanding that the interpretations are a result of the decisions made by the author. Let's take a look at a sample answer. The answer clearly explains that the interpretations may be based on different sources, as highlighted in green. It provides details from both the sources and the interpretations to support this explanation. It's not enough to simply state that the author of interpretation 1 focused on propaganda, whilst the author of interpretation 2 looked at the mechanics of coercion, or to say interpretation 1 matches source C, for example. Details from the interpretations must be used to exemplify the different approaches of the authors of the interpretation. Let's look at another high-performing answer that approaches it in a different way. This answer suggests that the authors have different interpretations because they had different intentions to show, which has resulted in a different focus on different aspects of Nazi control. Then, as is required by the mark scheme, the explanation is supported with reference to the content of both the interpretations. This student is awarded the full 4 marks available. And so to summarise, the examiner is looking for one valid reason which explains the difference in views in the interpretations. There needs to be explicit reference to both the interpretations to support the explanation. So make sure you use both. Your answers shouldn't be based on the provenance, and assumptions based on author's nationality or the date it was written are not relevant for this question. That brings us to the end of this walkthrough video. Remember, we have videos for every question for each paper available. More information for students can be found on our website under Student Support. Good luck in your upcoming exams.